Hello everyone, if you are new, my name is Marin. Welcome to another reading vlog. It's been a while since I have filmed a reading vlog. I have been doing reading during the month of November, obviously. I just have not really felt like picking up the camera and filming any of it. Things have been very busy at work and that just kind of fell by the wayside. But we are here with a little weekend reading vlog. I am going to be working on one of the books from my 22 books to read in 2022 list, which I will chat about in a minute. But I thought I'd go ahead and start off with like a little reading recap so far this month, just to kind of let you know where I'm at. So I have finished 3 books and I've DNF'd 2 books. So that's how the month's going. So I started off by trying to read All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda earlier this month. That was the first book of the month. And that was supposed to be my buzzword pick because it's an ing word, but I DNF'd that book because it's told backwards and the style of storytelling just was not working for me. So DNF'd that one. Then I read the 11th Nancy Drew book, which was The Clue of the Broken Locket. Finished that one, 3 stars. It's fine. I actually can't remember like all that many details of it. Something about like a cabin. I think there's like a cabin like out in the woods. There's a house up the hill that's like a big lodge. And they meet a girl who's like trying to find her family fortune or something. So that was that one. Fine. And then I attempted to read Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, and I've realized that at this point in my life, my reading life, my actual life, that type of fantasy is not really something that I want to read anymore. So I got about 30% of the way into that book, and then I just decided I really did not care. It wasn't really working for me. I was not drawn to any of the characters, wasn't curious about what was going on, just didn't care. So I DNF'd that. I do still want to try her other series with Strange the Dreamer, is that what it's called? So I do kind of want to try that out because her writing was not bad. I just was not gelling with the story. So I do want to still try out her other book. We'll see how that one goes. I don't know when I'll get to that, but I do want to read that. So then let's move on to the other 2 books that I did actually finish. Oh, Daughter of Smoke and Bone was also on my 22 books to read in 2022 list. So that one didn't go so well, but that's okay because that would have been another series and I need to like cut down on series. So now let's talk about the 2 books I did actually finish. So I listened to the very, very, very long audiobook of A Promised Land by Barack Obama. This is a very in-depth look at his first 3-ish years of his presidency and kind of like his political life before that as well. When I say very in-depth, like he takes you inside of like all of the meetings he attended, all of the conversations he had with like other heads of state. So it was very interesting, a little dry in terms of just the amount of information he's giving you, but he livens it up with like funny interjections, conversations that he had with his staff, his internal thoughts. You can really hear his emotion in a lot of the pieces of the story that he's telling you. So I would recommend the audiobook. He does narrate it, but I did finish this. This was another one on my 22 books to read in 2022 list. So hooray, that one's done. And then yesterday I finished listening to the audio of House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. So this was the Literally Dead book club pick for November. This one I have some mixed thoughts on. I have never read a book by Alexis Henderson until this one, so I did not read The Year of the Witching. It's on my list. I haven't read it though. I felt like this had really great vibes. It was a very unique, intriguing storyline, but I felt like the world building was a little bit lacking, and the ending is very, very abrupt. This is not a very long book. This book is 304 pages, I think. Let's see, no, that's with the notes. 288 pages. So it ends very abruptly. I would have wanted just a little bit more closure, but I did enjoy it, but it was not as great as I thought it was going to be, simply because of the pacing and kind of the questions that you were left with. So anyway, that one's done. This one's done. And now let's chat about the one that I'm going to be reading in this vlog, which is another one, as I said, off my 22 books to read in 2022 list. And that is The Replacement by Brenna Yovanoff. This is a fairy story. It has to do with a changeling. This is the only Brenna Yovanoff book that I have not yet read. I have read all of her others. Previously, she was like a must-read author for me. I did not like the last one that I read by her nearly as much as her previous ones. I feel like they've kind of all gone downhill, so we will see. So that is what we're going to be reading in this vlog. I have not started this yet. It is Saturday, November 19th. This is the first day of my Thanksgiving break, so I've been very lazy today. I got up late, kind of just have been having a very leisurely day. Watched some YouTube, watched some TV, and just kind of chilled. So I am going to go ahead and dive into this one. I have tabbed this out in 2 quarters. So I'm thinking that for today, I'll go ahead and work on the first 8 chapters, which will be this chunk right here. And then tomorrow I will attempt to knock out the rest of the book. That is because the Final Book Support Group's final readathon of 2022 is happening this next whole week from the 21st to the 27th, and I want to do like a separate vlog for that where I'm going to be reading series books. So want to go ahead and knock this one out. I believe this one is her first one. Let me check the publishing year. Yeah, this one was copyrighted in 2010. I'm almost positive this was the first one that she wrote. So yeah, I am looking forward to it. As I said, I did like her books, her older books. Her newer releases have not been quite as good in my opinion. So yeah, I'm always up for a good fairy story, and we'll see. Because she's very good at like the creepy horror vibes, and I'm interested to see. Also, I mean, look at the cover. Like, I feel like we've got some spooky vibes going on here. So hopefully I will enjoy this, but I will bring you along as I read it, and that will be what we tackle in this weekend vlog. I do not have much on the agenda. I need to do a little cleaning in my little fur baby's cage. I need to put away laundry because I've just been letting it stack up. The stress of school and things like that just means that I'm tired and didn't feel like doing any of that. But that's really it. That's all I have on the agenda for this vlog. So this is going to be very low-key, very chill, and we're going to just have fun these next 2 days. The first 2 days of my week-long Thanksgiving break. Hooray. So yes, let's go ahead and do some reading. After I finish this chunk, I will come back and chat with you, let you know what I'm thinking so far. Hopefully I'm going to like this. Let's cross our fingers, because the last one that I thought I would like, which was Daughter of Smoke and Bone, did not go so well. So anyway, that's that. I'll come back and chat with you later. See you then. Hey y'all, happy Sunday. As you saw, I went to Starbucks, got a chai latte, and then ham and cheese, what was it? Ham and cheese croissant, which was quite good. So that's my lunch taken care of. I want to go ahead and chat about The Replacement. So I am about halfway through. I wound up reading a bit more than I'd planned last night, and then I was listening to the audio as I got ready this morning and as I went to Starbucks. So I am about halfway through. I would say this book has a nice vibe, kind of a dark, creepy atmosphere. As I'd mentioned, it is about a changeling, so this is a book about the Fae, and I'm intrigued to see where it's going. It is a bit slow, so I've been listening to the audio and reading physically, kind of going back and forth. I do think the audio has helped keep me engaged and keep my mind from wandering off. So I am on chapter 18, so I'm about, as I said, halfway through. This book has, well, this version of the book has like the first chapter of The Space Between, which is another book by Brenna Yovanoff, which I've already read. So actually it looks like it's got maybe 2 chapters, like the prologue and the first chapter. So I've already read that book. So this book actually ends on page 343. So I have this chunk to read today because, as I said, I want to finish this so that I can start series books for the final book support group tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to the next quarter of this book, which will put me to chapter 25. This chunk right here. I do have a YouTube video to film that needs to go up on Tuesday, and then I will finish the book later tonight. So it is currently 12:24. I still have plenty of time to get this all done. I also want to go by the library because I need to pick up a book that I'm hoping to read this week. So I need to go pick that up since I'm already like put together and appropriate to out in public. So yeah, that's kind of going to be the plan. I have some laundry to put away, as I'd mentioned yesterday. I need to clean my little fur baby's cage, clean up his sand and things like that. So that's what we're going to do today. So come along, enough talking, let's get reading. Hey y'all, it is 7:09. I just finished reading The Replacement. So I'd read physically to chapter 26, and then I finished off listening to the audio while I did some puzzles on a puzzle website because I wanted to take a break from reading it physically. So it is done. This is actually my 102nd book of the year. Woohoo. So yeah, some thoughts. This is very slow. I believe I mentioned that earlier. So I was using the audio to kind of break that up a little bit. I also never really connected to the characters in this book. So that made the reading experience just kind of meh, in my opinion. Intriguing storyline. The vibes of the book are very well done. That is one thing Brenna Yovanoff really excels at. She is very good at making the reading experience feel creepy and unsettling. That's like a talent of hers. So that is done very well. But I kind of was just left at the end thinking like, okay, now what? Kind of. And in fact, the climax of the story, I guess I zoned out while I was listening to the audio because I had to go back and physically read it because I could not remember like what had happened. So that is because the climax is very anticlimactic. A lot more could have been done with that. I was expecting like much more of like a showdown, and it kind of just fizzled. So didn't love that. I'm giving this 3 stars in the end. As I'd mentioned, this is the last Brenna Yovanoff book that I had yet to read. She has written 2 other ones that they're like Stranger Things books. I have no interest in reading that. I've never watched Stranger Things. So this is the last one that I had to read. Should she do anything else, I will check it out. So Paper Valentine and The Space Between remain my favorite books by her. I gave them 4 stars. They were really, really well done. I also really enjoyed Fiendish. This one and Places, what is it? Places No One's Been or something like that. Whatever her most recent one was, were kind of duds. I think I gave that one 3 stars as well. So I'm glad I read it because now I have read her whole backlist, but I was really expecting more, especially on the blurb. So this is blurbed by Maggie Stiefvater. It says, I loved this eerie and beautiful story of ugly things. It should be read aloud after dark at a whisper. And I don't know. I mean, as I said, her writing is unsettling and creepy. So in that respect, yes, but I didn't consider this a beautiful story. It is what it is. So anyway, it's done. It's another book off my 22 books to read in 2022 list. So hooray for that. Now, before I sign off this vlog, I wanted to just do a little bit of a book haul. I've gotten some book mail like the past few days. This is not counting the 2 books that I picked up from the library, which you saw already, but I did pick up the collector's edition of Red, White, and Royal Blue. This is so cute, y'all. So we have the quote on the front and back in like red foiling, and inside there are illustrations, which I think are so well done and just kind of a really fun addition. And then also in the back we have illustrations, and then there is an additional piece added at the end. So I have not read that yet. I'm going to check that out eventually and see what I think, but I really loved Red, White, and Royal Blue. That was one of my favorites of last year. It was in my top 3, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, picked that up. So got that. I also picked up 2 books that I'm hoping to get to next year in 2023. So I picked up Out of the Easy by Ruta Sapedes. This is the only one of her books that I did not have like a physical copy. I have an arc of this book somewhere, but I don't know where it went, and I really like this hardcover edition. So I went ahead and picked that up. And then I picked up this doorstop of a book, The Priory of the Orange Tree, because I've heard really good things about it. I read The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon earlier this year. Really liked it. And I do want to give this one a read. But when that will be, I don't know. I haven't like made any plans to read it straight out the gate or anything like that, but I am hoping that I can get to this one next year, even though it is 804 pages long. So yeah, I do want to read it again. I've heard good things. The prequel comes out. I've pre-ordered that as well because it sounds like something I should really like, and I did really like The Bone Season. So picked that up, and I believe that's it. I think I've officially caught you up on books. And then while I ran to the library, I did stop by Ulta. I am almost out of vitamin C serum, so I decided to pick up a new one. I'm going to give this one a go. This is from Pacifica. It's the Glow Baby Super C serum. It's in a dropper, which you can see right there. So I'm giving this one a go. I did not want to spend a ton of money on a vitamin C serum. I've used some high-end ones, and I just don't think that they're really doing anything that's worth that money. So I'm going to try Pacifica's. I also picked up a new makeup sponge because the one that I had, well, I have 2, but my one has started to tear, so I'm getting rid of it. So I picked up a new one of that. I also picked up this cute little palette. This is from the Ulta brand. This is the Stargaze palette. I saw Kelly Gooch mention this, so it just looks really pretty. I like the cool tones of the colors a lot, so I picked that up. And then the last thing I picked up was a primer. Again, this is an e.l.f. primer. This is the Power Grip Primer in clear. So I'm thinking something similar to the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. Is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. But that was my little Ulta haul as well. And now it's 7:17, so we're gonna go ahead and sign off this vlog. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me on this weekend before my Thanksgiving break. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. My next reading vlog is going to be a week-long vlog where I will be sharing my final book support group progress, so stay tuned for that. But otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.